Hello everyone, good morning, good evening. Welcome to Northern California Home Gardening Channel. Gardening is made easy. So what you're seeing in front of me, it's called Pirandai plant, and it's also called adamant creeper. We are going to talk about this plant, and then we're going to see how to propagate this also. That's what you're going to see in the video today. And let's talk about some of the health benefits of this plant. So this Pirandai plant, one can actually make chutney. You see this, these tender shoots that are coming up. These tender shoots can be taken. These corners, you see these corners, they have to be peeled, and then you make some small pieces, and then you can make chutney. And I'll definitely make a video of that later. But let me talk about this plant. This plant is unique, and I would really say that this is one of the gems of the tropical area. So this is also a medicinal plant. So it helps. This plant actually, when you consume it, it helps with the bone healing, and if there are any injuries or anything like that, it helps with healing, and it naturally also strengthens the bones. So it also increases the bone minerals, and if there are inflammations or joint pains, it kind of helps with that. It's also good, if you have arthritis. If someone has arthritis, they can consume it. So it is also good for inflammation. Any inflammation also kind of cures for the inflammation. So a lot of good benefits about this plant, Pirandai. This is a tropical plant. It doesn't grow in the cold area. So what happened is, I just stored this plant. It was there in this pot. In the winter, actually, I kept it in the shade. It's been a month actually. There's a lot of heat here in Northern California. I see that how the new shoots have come up, just going crazy actually. All the new shoots everywhere before you know it, and so people take it, and then it's consumed more like a green. They pluck this, and then they kind of make chutney or use it in cooking. So definitely say that you should probably grow it. So if you keep it outside in the cold during winter, it will die. So it's important to keep this in a shaded area or protected during winter. And summer, it will again go crazy. It will start kind of growing. At least if you have 80 to 90 degree Fahrenheit, and outside if you keep it, it's going to go crazy. And it's a creeper actually, so it does need something to climb on. And so once it got root, actually it will start growing. So this one I got it from Amazon, and I'll put a link on where I got this plant from. And, the next thing that we'll see is how to propagate this Pirandai plant in a small pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 3 shoots. I'm going to propagate 3 different shoots. So this one, you see, this one is kind of growing on the ground. So I'm going to probably take it, and then I'm going to just cut it right here, because this node, I don't want to cut it on the node, because you see this, it can start growing from here. So I'm going to leave the node, and I'm just going to cut it. Just going to cut it right here. Okay, this is one, and the second one, I'm going to cut it. Same thing. I'm going to cut it right here. And this third one. This area is probably grown quite a bit, so I'm just going to probably, it is already having these nodes, so it might start growing there, and so I'm going to cut it right here. Okay, so I've not cut 3 of these. Now let's see how to propagate these. So what I will do is I will take a bag of you see here, take some mud actually in a small pot. I'll make a nice hole here. So what will happen is, so the more you put it inside, it's good actually if you can kind of put 2 nodes inside also. The more you put, it's going to get more roots. Actually, that's the whole idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a deep hole here as much as possible. So more it goes inside, it's good actually. So it will grow really well. It will have more roots. That's the whole idea. So what I've done is already put the soil here, and then put it in the soil, and then I kept it as much as inside as possible, because the root will grow really healthy. So this soil that I have here is a topsoil mixed with it's called a veggie mix, and I got it from the local landscape and material store. And either if you have a landscape and material store nearby, you can buy it from there, or you can also use, I wouldn't suggest you using peat moss, but also the coconut coir is also okay, that also you can use. And so this is what I use, it's a mix of topsoil, sand, and then a bit of a compost, it's all mixed. Actually, it's a good soil. It's also a kind of well draining soil, that is more important. So what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to keep all these three. I dipped it as much as possible. Just need to keep it in a shade. And you don't do this if you're living in a cold region, you got to store it inside, right? So during winter time, so it will nicely take root, and then in summer you can keep it outside and start nicely growing. So I'm going to keep it in the shade. And outside now the night temperature is around 60s and 70s, so it's okay to keep it outside. And in the morning and the afternoon it gets about 80, 90 or so. So that's a perfect for it to kind of start taking the roots. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to pour water in this and then nicely sink in, and then I'm just going to leave it, and in a few weeks I'll show you how it has grown. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to soak the water inside nicely. So what happens with the water when it's at the bottom, this water is going to come back, and then it's going to drench the entire soil. So I'm going to leave it like this, and then I'm going to drain the water from the bottom after like 1 or 2 hours. What I've done now is, I've drained all the water from this. So so I keep it here for about a couple of weeks or so. So once I start seeing the sprouts, what I'll do is I'll slowly move this out into the sun. So I'll slowly start moving out to the sun, and then it'll kind of start growing really well. So if you really like this video, please do click like and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully you learned something about Pirandai, which is a really gem of tropical plant, and definitely suggest you to grow this. And I will see you in another video